Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am excited to be here today. I woke up, I looked at the news, and there's a million things happening. And everybody's ranting. They're ranting about everything, just like we do every day, every day, every day. And so I looked and I looked and I looked and I contemplated what would be really important and critical. What are the most important issues to the day of the day? And after looking and seeing what people were posting on X and talking about everywhere, I decided that there's really no question that the most important issues of the day are daylight savings time and UFC. That's it, right? Now we do have this little Russia-Ukraine war thing. We have, the international trade wars. We have the lack of accountability that's occurring for the globalists like Soros and the pedophiles and the Epstein list and that sort of stuff. But I think those things are, I guess they matter to some people, but to me, I really feel good about talking about UFC, sports, and daylight savings time. So you know what? I made the executive decision, since it's my show, that we're going to talk about that because, I mean, the 10 to 20 million people that were murdered from COVID and justice for that stuff just doesn't matter. We need to focus on priorities, folks. And what could be more important? I've got the NFL draft coming up. I mean, who doesn't want to support the NFL and their black national anthem? I mean, so we're going to talk about those sorts of things today because I want to. And it makes me happy, and it's my show. And, hopefully you like it. Because if you don't like it, well, then no one will watch my show, and then my show won't exist. And I'll go back to having to do toilet scrubbing and gas station jobs, which might actually be good today. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that sort of stuff. We got all sorts of things. We're going to hit Elon's robots in Mars if we can. I got a whole list today, long list. And if we get done, I might talk about some of this globalist trade war and some, but that's down the list, folks. That's if we get to it, because it pales in comparison to daylight savings time, which is being debated in the Senate today, I believe. I mean, we've got some really heroic warrior senators who are absolutely going to war over daylight savings time. They will take a stand. Who says they won't take a stand on anything? Anyways, all right. I know, folks, I might be a little cynical, just a little. Without further ado, though, I want to remind y'all, please, if you want to support us in our fight to bring you true information about critical issues like daylight savings time, go to givesendgo.com/RensLaw. Become a monthly donor. We will fight for daylight savings time. We'll go to war for it, folks. I'm telling you, we're COVID, that sort of stuff. Nobody cares about it, but we will go to war for daylight savings time. We'll stand with our proud senators who don't give a damn about our budget, don't give a damn about the collapse of the U.S. dollar. They don't care about any of that as long as they keep getting their grifting done. And so much like them, we will stand. We will stand. It's a new business model for me, right? We're going to stand for important things like daylight savings time, but we're not going to worry about things like the fact that the Yale study shows that the mRNA vaccines cause your body to continue to produce spike protein for years and years and years, which is supposed to be impossible. But, that's irrelevant. Who cares if they murdered people, made them infertile? Justice, that's overrated, right? It's just overrated. So givesendgo.com/RensLaw, givesendgo.com/RensLaw. Please become a monthly supporter. It keeps us moving. And also, if you're willing, go to TomRens.com, and we love TomRens.com. It's the best website on the market that there is. I don't think there's really any question. I think I can say that. I don't think anybody can even argue with me. I think we have the best website on the internet. Is that measurable? Can we quantify that? I don't know, maybe. But anyways, just go to shop and then scroll down, go to partners and affiliates. We can go to any of this stuff, but go to partners and affiliates. You see, we've got Kirk Elliott. We've got Satellite Phone Store. We got our new one, Dulce Sweetener. They're great. But scroll down, there's Dr. Tenpenny. By the way, Sherry's got these classes. They're actually really, really good. I love these classes. And it's Sherry. We love her. So, but scroll on down. And I want to get to, do you, Dr. Stella too, by the way. Dr. Stella. We got Dr. Stella now. We got so many good people. I don't even know. It's hard to remember them all, but she's got some great products in her store. I love her store. But scroll down to RNC store today. Today we're going to talk about RNC. John Richardson, B17, great supplement. Great, great, great. I think it's great. We believe that it's very helpful. We used it a lot when my wife with Annie's cancer, and they've got these new like I don't know, like gummy type fruity things. They're really delicious, and a great way to get your B17. Tastes great, yummy, yummy, yummy stuff, and just a great product. So check that out at RNC store. You can go there, rncstore.com/Renz, and use Renz for the discount at the checkout, and it's a great product. So anyways, make sure you're checking that out as well. All right. So without further ado, I want to get to these really important things that are going on, because there are so many really important things going on. And wait, I got an alert here, folks. I want to show you this one. This one, let's see if we can get it real quick. This is a real-time audible occurring at real time. This is really, really important. Now, folks, listen. You may think that it's important that Joe Biden gave Social Security numbers and the ability to vote to 2 million illegal aliens right before the election, but that's irrelevant. We don't care about that. There's nothing that's not. Let me show you what's important today. This by the Hodge twins. I love the Hodge twins, by the way. I think they're hilarious, and I think they're awesome. They're just funny to me. But this by the Hodge twins. Let me show you. This is important. Look at this. They say it was a white dude that made this. Probably. But someone put an 8,750 horsepower engine in a school bus. Look at this. This is kind of cool. Who even thinks of this? Wait, what? There goes. Look at that. That's so much more important than kids dying from COVID vaccines, or the childhood vaccine schedule, or the poisons that they're putting. That's awesome. They're right. Hodge twins are right. It probably was a white dude that did that. I mean, I don't know why. That just seems like a white dude thing. But that's awesome, right? And definitely more important than children dying from the COVID vaccines, that are now on the childhood vaccine schedule, despite the fact that there were no healthy children that died from COVID during the pandemic. Clearly putting those mRNA poisons on the vaccine schedule, it makes total sense, but it's not important, right? Because there's only, I don't know, however many kids dying per year from it. And since it's just, it's not like hundreds of millions of kids dying per year. So then it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, if it was like, I don't know, if it was a celebrity kid that died from it, that might be an issue. If it was a politician's kid that died from it, that might be an issue. But this is just like, normal working people, guys like you and me. I mean, who the hell cares if our kids die? Right. Anyways, that's not as important as the school bus. The school bus is really important. So
I think we need to have a daily dose of toxic masculinity video every day.
That would be good.
Yeah, I think you need to drop some toxic masculinity videos for us, because we need to be, putting that into the universe. Everyone's testosterone is down because they've been poisoning our atmosphere, and like you said, it's all in the water to kill testosterone everywhere. So we need to do our part in saving the world. Maha.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. Yeah.
Well, and you don't want, I think there should be like a litmus test. Like if it turns out that your testosterone levels are above 250, which is, right around what Mark Zuckerberg says, or like over 4, which is like what Harry Sissons is. Then we need to put like a, caution tape around you or something, because no one should be exposed to you. I don't want anybody that actually has gonads running around there ruining the world for everybody else. But anyway, so that the, producer Andrea, I'm glad that you're here. I mean, producer Andrea is always here, but often she's behind the scenes. You're aware that there is nothing more important today than the debate in the Senate about daylight savings time, right? I mean, this is the issue of the day.
Well, and you were talking about, why would we talk about the vaccines and kids? And
I don't care about that.
I just read a report that I think is it something like 30,000 or so children are still being jabbed with the
mRNA. Per day.
Yeah, per day. So people think COVID's over and they're not forcing us to get the jab anymore. So it's over.
Yeah, they're not forcing anybody.
Here in the United States, we are still putting that poison into that many babies.
Yeah, but you got to
every single day.
Oh my God! Now you're talking about things nobody cares about. What it is listen, just because 30-some thousand kids are being forced to take a poison that may sterilize them, give them lifelong health problems, and all sorts of other things by their parents who don't actually have informed consent because they don't know what's going on with it and they've been lied to. I mean, listen, as long as there's a choice, who cares?
And I just recently wrote about.
It's so serious.
I think it was Yale that's pushing pregnant women to get the vax still, because there's an astronomical amount of women. It's huge, growing in the last few years, and I wonder what's changed in health to make this happen. Of women who are dying during childbirth. So I read on, and I was doing a lot of research on that. And what's fascinating is, they are saying it's due to COVID, not due to the vaccines, and that women need to make sure that they get their mRNA shots if they think that they're going to get pregnant, especially if they are pregnant. So it's babies and pregnant women that we definitely are still pushing the poison shots on. Just saying.
I mean, so there is, that's interesting, because the study that I was referencing is also from Yale, right? Yeah. So here it is. This is an interesting thing. So this is from Yale. I mean, listen, this doesn't matter. Daylight savings time matters. This is stupid. Nobody cares about those 30-some thousand kids that are being maimed every day. That's irrelevant, folks. Look at this study is from Yale, who's really pushing to get the vaccines. And I mean, listen, they're finding that, those spike proteins that were supposed to be there for a couple days are still there 709 days later, which means it almost certainly integrated in with the DNA. And, it also, suggests that, this could be that the vaccines are actually responsible for long COVID, but none of that matters. Let's talk about what's important. Let's talk about what's important here.
Yes.
Here, this is what matters. Daylight savings time. This is what I care about. I mean, look at this. And I mean, Trump's tweeted on it, which and I hate the time switch. So, I mean, how can we argue? I hate it. It's inconvenient. This is what's important. They get the save standard time, and they get the daylight savings time people, and it's a real war. I mean, this is one of the most important issues of the day. I mean, who gives a damn about these this other stuff? I mean, here, look at Senator Ted Cruz. Let's look. This is what's important here. Okay, so we're going to stop. We're going to listen to this one. Let me get the sound squared away here. This is important.
Science and transportation will come to order. Twice a year, we find ourselves adjusting our clocks.
Oh my God.
An hour of daylight forward in the spring, springing forward, and falling back in the fall.
Damn.
For many Americans, this biannual ritual is a minor inconvenience.
Oh no.
We endure without giving it much thought.
This is important.
But when we take a closer look at the implications of changing the clocks,
they're everything.
Impact on our economy, our health, and our everyday lives.
Wait. I got to interject here. Clearly, Senator Cruz is right. Now, COVID vaccines that kill children and that are being given to 30,000+ children per day to give them lifelong health issues, turbo cancer, and all sorts of other things. Those don't have any economic impacts. Those don't have it. That's just 30-some thousand new kids, getting poisoned a day. And, the however many hundreds of millions of Americans that were already impacted by it. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. But twice a year, damn it, we change our clocks. We change them, I say. This is unacceptable. Who cares about mRNA in our blood supply? Who cares about people being poisoned? That pales in comparison. Twice a year, we change our clocks by an hour. I'm glad the Senate is here to take care of this. Let's hear what Mr. Senator Cruz has to say.
We can see that this practice is more than an annoyance.
Damn right
First,
it
let's
is.
talk about energy savings, which has long been the most common justification for daylight savings time.
Well, yeah,
The original idea behind daylight savings time was to reduce energy consumption.
that's a great
by making
idea.
better use of daylight during the longer days of summer. The idea was simple. Fewer hours of darkness meant less electricity consumption for lighting and heating.
It's brilliant.
This concept might have made sense in the early 20th century,
It might
but our
have.
economy and our homes relied much more heavily on energy consumption tied to daylight hours.
That's right. It
Today,
does.
the data show energy savings from daylight savings time are de minimis, if not entirely non-existent.
Oh my
Advances
God.
in technology.
Did you hear that? This is shocking revelation, folks. Shocking. The energy savings from daylight savings time are de minimis, if not entirely negligible. Folks, this is a scandal. Now, I mean, you've got other little scandals out there, like Jeffrey Epstein, blackmailing these politicians because he's got videos of them raping children. And, the fact that, whoever was funding Jeffrey Epstein, he still has that blackmail footage. And I'm sure those people are still blackmailing those same politicians. That's kind of a scandal. I mean, the fact that we were supposed to have that out months ago and that it keeps getting delayed because we've got to make sure we're protecting the right people. That's kind of a scandal. But that pales in comparison to the fact that we have here de minimis energy savings resulting from daylight savings time. De minimis, I say. Can you imagine the outrage? I mean, yeah, raping children? Whatever. We don't want to worry about raping children. That's overrated entirely. People who care about that stuff, yeah, I mean, they're not with the times. They don't understand. But that raping children, Epstein stuff, that's over because Epstein clearly, of his own volition and accord, hung himself by a bed with a sheet in his cell while he was being watched by God. It doesn't matter. The scandal is de minimis energy savings from daylight savings time. Let's see what our Senate is finding here.
Particularly in lighting and climate control, and increased domestic energy production have drastically reduced the relative price of energy compared to the past.
That's very important.
Changing clocks biannually impacts our health.
Yes, it does.
Research has shown.
Wait, health. Forget Maha. We don't need Maha. Who needs stinking Maha? Seed oils for everybody. We're just going to fix the clocks.
That the abrupt shift in time, especially the spring transition when we lose an hour of sleep, disrupts our internal circadian rhythms and causes sleep deprivation.
Oh, holy, wait. I thought I wasn't taking this seriously enough. Sleep deprivation, folks. Sleep deprivation. I mean, I slept 2 hours last night, max. If it wasn't for daylight savings time, I might have slept 2.5. I mean, God, I just didn't realize. Let's hear. I need to learn more from Senator Cruz.
This leads to increased risks of health problems, including higher rates of heart attacks, strokes, and even car accidents immediately following the time change.
Shocking.
In fact, studies have shown that there is a spike in workplace injuries and fatal car crashes during the days after we shift our clocks forward.
Well, wait a second here. Now, I know causation is not the same as correlation, right? Correlation doesn't equal causation. I know because in COVID, there was a huge spike in people dying, and there's a huge spike in turbo cancers, and a huge spike in 4 million different things that are occurring post mRNA vaccine release. But obviously that's irrelevant because we have no causative proof. But if there's studies suggesting after daylight savings time that, there's some more workplace injuries, then I mean, obviously that's all the proof I need. Daylight savings time it is. To hell with COVID, to hell with Epstein, to hell with the war in Ukraine. Corruption, Doge, election fraud, none of that, man. Let's go, Senator Ted.
The disruption to sleep patterns and the resultant fatigue can have consequences on our productivity, mental health, and well-being.
Oh, my God.
The time change is also an inconvenience for families.
Oh,
parents.
Wait a second. Now we're talking about an inconvenience for families? I wonder if that compares to the inconvenience that Anna Paulina Luna was having by not being able to proxy vote in the House, so she had to shut down the whole damn House over it. It was the inconvenience for oh, my God.
Especially those with young children.
Oh, just like
Adjusting
the
to
House.
the time change is no simple task. Sleep disruptions can result in cranky children.
Oh, my God. I'm done. I'm going to send an apology letter. I was kind of making fun of this, but now I think it's serious.
Restless nights.
Not cranky
And
children.
a difficult adjustment period that can last for weeks.
Producer Andrea, hold on. You have children. Can you imagine the enormity of the impact if you had cranky children whose sleep patterns were disrupted for weeks? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that clearly is a far greater impact on as a mother. I'm just curious because I mean, dads don't count. They're kind of irrelevant, but as a mom, this is far more important than mRNA poisoning your children, right?
That's why I was talking about the toxic masculinity. I can't stop laughing right now because yesterday I had to run errands. And I was picking up dinner somewhere, and an older gentleman right away just looked at me while I was picking up the food, and he goes, "What about daylight savings? What do you think about that?" Like literally everyone I ran into yesterday was bringing this up, and it's just funny to me what you're getting to. Like when we were talking about the toxic masculinity, we are a nation of sissies. Like you're talking about 1 hour. Hey, and I'm a big fan of getting rid of it. Honestly, I'll just say get rid of it. But you and I are similar. We don't sleep a lot. And I like to watch the sunrise. It's actually very good for you. You should just get up when the sun rises. And you should, if you want your circadian rhythms to stay intact, you follow the sun. I don't follow the clock.
But he said the kids would be cranky.
If your kids are cranky over a 1 hour difference, then you're raising some sissies. I mean, this is insane. Now there is points to running businesses. I ran 24-hour restaurants for a long time, and I worked in the casinos and all that.
Yeah, but that's racist.
And it is a pain in the butt when you're running graveyard and you've got daylight savings and things. I mean, it's just annoying. When you have to change the clocks, it is annoying. I think we should stop doing it. But I think it's adorable that we are a nation full of sissies that cry about this.
You don't get it. This is the most important issue in history.
It really is important. Everyone's talking about it. I mean, obviously, it's the most important thing for us to talk about today. Obviously,
I think you might. I think this is racist. I think the fact that you don't appreciate it. There must be racism involved here. Let's go back to Senator Cruz. This is important, and you're worried about. You're worried about, people learning to adjust to difficulties in their life, like horrible.
If an hour change destroys your entire life to this degree, then we've got some major problems.
This is the most important issue in America. We have to do this.
I know. I'm sorry.
What could be more important? I don't understand how you don't appreciate. Oh, let's go back to Senator Cruz. Hold on. Okay. Because we need to finish this. Let's finish it. Take us home.
We also need to consider the economic and social impact.
Oh, yeah, those.
There are arguments that longer daylight hours in the evening can boost economic activity in certain sectors, such as retail, tourism, and entertainment.
Vegas likes
For instance,
nighttime.
Late afternoon golf leagues account for up to 40% of the annual revenue of some courses.
Well, I mean, that's got to account for at least $7 a year.
Nearly 50% of their lessons are taught after 4 p.m. A golf course would lose an estimated $500,000 annually.
Oh my
if
God!
It lost the extra hour of daylight in the summer.
Compare that to how
Of
much
course,
you lost
the
in
early
Social
birds
Security.
who like
Oh.
7 a.m. tea times might be a bit annoyed with this shift. Many states and countries like Mexico and Russia and Turkey have already taken steps to move away from changing clocks twice a year.
That's because they're not stupid.
Hawaii and Arizona have opted out of the practice, and other countries in the past 10 years have either abolished it or are in the process of doing so. Congress has the authority to end this outdated and harmful practice. This hearing is an excellent opportunity to examine a thoughtful and rational approach to how we manage time.
Thoughtful. Well, that'd be the first thoughtful and rational thing Congress has ever done.
Whether we lock the clock on standard time year-round or on daylight savings time, let's think carefully about our health, our economy, and well-being, and embrace a sensible approach to time management.
Well, I learned everything I need to know, folks. What I know now is I think we just clearly established everything that is wrong with this country, and 90% of it stems from the fact that we don't have our clocks right. I think.
Well, I'm happy to see Congress get excited about something.
Well, I mean, they're at war.
Yeah.
They found their backbone. They are taking a stand on this. Pick one. Pick one, guys.
The Epstein list is still being redacted, right? I mean, because that might take years.
Well, that'll take at least another 30 years.
Yeah, to redact. So in the meantime, we really need
but
to.
That's okay, because we just got to trust the plan. There's a plan on that.
I'm trusting the plan, and I'm trusting that there must be some real important plan with this daylight saving. And it's daylight saving time, not savings, I guess. People are correcting us on that too. It's not plural.
Well, you'd have a saving every day. I mean, and you're only you're saving time, so you're not saving times. You're just saving one time, so it would be daylight saving time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't sound right.
Well, I feel enlightened, and I'm very happy that Congress is doing something.
Well, it's very. What else could they do? I mean, what else is there? It's not like there's anything else that matters going on.
Exactly.
I mean, thankful. I'm proud of our Senate for taking decisive action.
And I like the fiscal things he talked about there, like that they care about.
Well, I mean, he cares about the golf courses that could lose $500,000. I mean,
it's
the
weird
government losing billions is fine, but
well, and they're still going to tax you a lot.
Yeah,
but you'll save money with this huge change. This 1 hour change.
You know what I just realized? There's a real scandal here.
Mm-hmm.
This is really important. CNN, I hope you're watching. So listen, Donald Trump is promoting daylight savings time, and he owns golf courses.
Yep. So there's a conflict.
Trump is using his power. Headline: breaking news. Donald Trump is abusing his authority as president by supporting daylight savings time solely to save $500,000 on his golf course.
We better look at we better audit his taxes, his filings at those golf courses, because clearly
that's insider trading.
Insider trading.
Is it insider trading? I don't think he's trading anything. It's something. TV Raskin, where are you? That's an impeachment. He should be impeached.
Do you think that all of our international friends are just sitting there just laughing at the clown show of our Congress right now? Like they're just like, what?
America wasn't the last hope for the world. They probably would be. But I mean, listen, whatever you're laughing at could be worse, could be Europe. I mean, but I mean, Jesus, my God. Okay. So I don't want to make light of this because it's too important. You know what I want to do? I want to move into UFC and NFL and some sports stuff, because this is so much more important. So much more important. I love UFC. I don't get to follow it as close as I like because I got a job and I have things to do and I work a lot, but I love UFC. And the reason I love UFC is it's like the last bastion of athletes that are just warriors. Like, I'm going to talk about the pussification of the NFL in a second, because I played football. Right. I loved football. I actually like sports a lot. I still work. Everybody who follows me knows I still work out 6 days a week or more. I'm in good shape for an old dude. And, I mean, it's a part of my life that's still there. Like I still am an active athlete. I can still, I don't know if I'm probably pretty close. I don't know if I can quite get up 400 pounds anymore on the bench or not. I'd say around there. But I can still bench press a lot of weight, and I can still run a half marathon, without any extra training. And I can still, I don't know if I could pull off a full marathon today. Winter's been a little bit brutal, but yeah, I could probably gut it out because I'm pretty damn hard-headed. At least I've been told that. But I'm an athlete and I love it. It's a big part of who I am, and I like it. Right. So I like UFC because these guys, they're kind of like, I feel like I can identify with these guys. They're just fighters. They're just like, listen, what are you going to do? You want to punch? What are you going to do? You're going to fight with me? I don't care. So it's kind of cool. So right now there's this huge, I don't know, poo storm around a UFC fight, which is great publicity. You got Jason Silva, Bryce Mitchell, right? And so here's what's going on. Gene Silva, not Jason. Gene Silva claimed that he's going to end Mitchell's career by causing brain damage, right? So he says he's going to knock this guy out. He's just knock him straight up brain damage. He's going to just going. And this is the kind of thing that happens, right? So you get these pre-fight kind of just back and forth stuff. And I've done some fights. I was never professional. I did a lot. I've been martial arts since I was a young guy. I did some tournaments as a young guy. I did a few fights. Really embarrassed myself the one time. I got I went out in the ring, and I mean, the guy that I was fighting was not tough at all, but he was fighting, and I was just staring at the audience. So it was kind of irrelevant. I mean, I got out of there. It's fine, but but I've done fights, right? That was the only one I really ever, kind of didn't do very well on. But I did a lot of them, and most of it was just practice and training and stuff like that. We had a few real fights in the streets. I had a few of those when I was a kid. Love everything about it, right? And it's an interesting thing. So let me tell you about fighting. If you're a fighter, if you're an athlete who fights for a living, you walk into that ring and you don't have a killer instinct. Like if you walk into that ring and you're not looking at that guy thinking, I'm going to take this guy out, you've lost the fight. Okay. I'm going to tell you a moment's hesitation, right? So let me explain this in these terms. And I'm getting into fighting. This is actually legit, right? So, and I've done this for a lot of years, folks. So I kind of know what I'm talking about on this. So let's talk about this, right? So you're squared up, you're fighting, and let's say we're doing kind of a boxing thing. We're squared up, right? And I'm throwing a combo, right? Low combo, hitting the body, and I get you to drop your hands. A lot of times you'll throw a combo low to get people to drop their hands. And an undisciplined fighter, or if you get a shot, or if the undisciplined fighter starts coming down to block your body, or if you're hitting hard enough, you come down, right? That opens up the shot up here, right? So you may get, if you're fighting a good fighter and they're disciplined, they're keeping their guard up, and they're taking a little bit down here, but you're trained to take a little bit down there, right? And you should be countering, you should be focusing on the counter, but if you're going to hit me, I'm going to make you pay for it. But, you start throwing, and if you start throwing flurries right, makes it hard to counter. You start getting a little bit of pain that doesn't happen. So hands drop. The second those hands drop, you've got a split second. And you go for that shot. And you go for that knockout point, and you swing. And if you hesitate for a split second, it's gone. The opening's gone. The killer instinct is I see that opening and I want to destroy. So there's no thought. It's just instant, right? I see that opening. I attack it. I go after it. That's the mindset you have to be a fighter. And the guy that's got that mindset, the strongest mindset, and it covers a lot of things, right? It's like, right. Yeah. It's counter. That's just one example, but it manifests in so many different ways. The second you get that opening, you go, right? You know, I'm going to let you, I'm going to drop my guard a little bit. I'm going to rope it. I'm going to sucker you into throwing something. I'm going to take that hit. And as I'm taking that hit, I know it's coming, but I'm braced for it. And I'm going to be countering because you're out of position, because when you strike, you can't cover and strike at the same time. So I'm going to take that hit and I'm going to take it so hard and so straight, but I'm going to do it because I know that I'm going to counter. And I know that that counter is going to be wide open because I took it. Calculated risk, you know, knowing your limits, knowing what you can take. These are the kind of things that you got to have to be a great fighter, right? You got to have this warrior spirit, this warrior mentality. You got to know what your enemy's doing, and you've got to know, you got to be smart, right? And you got to be tough, and you got to be willing to go for the kill. You got to know when the right, and when you understand that this person across you in the ring is your enemy, that's how you become a great warrior, a great fighter. Okay, so why does this matter? Right? So we got these guys and they're talking crap, and everybody's having a conniption because Silva said, I'm going to cause brain damage. Oh my God, he's so mean. What? They're beating each other in the head until unconsciousness. That's their sport. Brain damage is a legit thing. It happens. Every single guy who's a professional boxer, professional fighter, I mean, you take enough blows to the head, those repeated concussions, they have an impact. There's no way around it. Okay? Brain damage is a real thing. If you're a pro fighter, it's a real risk. It's going to happen if you do it long enough. You can insert your, Ren's joke there. Oh, that's what happened, Ren. Okay, go ahead. But it's a true thing. You take enough blows to the head, it's going to impact you, right? So when you get hit, you take that shot. It's not how hard someone punches you. It's a snap, right? It's your brain smashing from side to side inside your skull, right? That's what causes the problem. That's what causes the lights out, right? Because a hard blow here that doesn't cause much head snap, I mean, even if you break a bone in your face or something, breaking a bone in your face doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get knocked out. It's going to hurt like hell, but don't mean you're going to get knocked out. It's the brain injury. When you get knocked out, there's some brain damage. There's some brain injury occurring, right? You can't get knocked out without. So, like, these pussies out there talking about this, like these guys don't know. Like, oh my God, he crossed the line. Now, listen, of course, there's the guys who love UFC who are like, yeah, Silva's an evil bastard. We're going to root for Mitchell now because he's and there's a lot. That's normal, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the wussy outrage machine out there that's like, oh my God, he's so mean. That's what they do. These guys are badass. They fight.
Well, did you see the Russian fighter? I don't remember his name that fought McGregor. He had funny comments afterwards because he won, and he goes, and McGregor tapped, right? He tapped out, and he kept saying he should have just went to sleep. He had all these people from his homeland, from Ireland there watching. All his fans were there, and he taps. He goes, he should have just went to sleep. He just should have taken a nap. This way, with his Russian accent. And again, my kids do martial arts too, and they compete. And this is something that I've dealt with even on the sidelines being a parent. Of course you don't want anyone to get hurt when in these competitions with these kids, but you don't understand that to be good, you have to go in there like your life is on the line, because it absolutely could be. You could hurt yourself, all these kinds of things. And my oldest son, he is fierce, and he goes in there with a warrior spirit. And he'll say, like, I have to go in there, the refs will stop it when it needs to be stopped, but that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to win the fight. So they work on these positions and stuff that absolutely could cause a broken, leg or an injury. And obviously there's decorum there where you don't want anyone to get hurt. But at the same time, when you're going to complete these moves, you complete them for that. That's the purpose. You're a fighter. That's what they teach you to do. That's the point of the sport, is to fight.
Well, let me show you this clip here. I think this is the one I want to show you. So this is what it looks like. So I want you to, first of all, picture soft little freaking vagina Harry Sisson. We need a beep there? Can you mark the time? 40:10. Soft little wussy Harry Sisson. Sorry, we do need a beep there. That might have been a bit much. I mean, this little wussy who's got absolute. I mean, he's just a sissy. Now compare that to these guys. Let's listen to these guys, right? Let me show you what you got here.
Por que eu sou promotor de evento? No 3, tá? 1, 2, 3.
Why do I promote good events? 3.
You know, he's trying to get people. So this guy's signature is get people to bark with him, right? Right? And he wants people to bark with him. They're kind of booing him because he's he's gone too far.
Down in my day.
And this guy, he wants to get them to bark like dogs, right? That's Silva's thing is they get them to bark like dogs. Watch Mitchell's response. This is awesome.
I put a lot of dogs down in my day.
So he wants to get them to bark. This guy's like, I put a lot of dogs down in my day.
Ele disse que matou
Oh, those dogs that like to come up to the farm.
Listen to this.
They kill my animals. They come to harm me and my family, and they come barking. You know what they all got in common? They squeal right before they die.
I think PETA, anybody PETA. So this is why I love UFC. You know what you got here? You got two guys that aren't wussies. They stand for something. All right. They're warriors. They're fighting. Now let's compare that.
And they're a dying breed.
They're very much, well, they might be the last sport.
Exactly.
Boxing's still tough. Boxing's still good.
Yeah.
But let's compare that. Let's compare that with that. So I did a little bit of homework, right? Now let's talk about the NFL. Some of the most profound athletes on the planet play. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys are true athletes.
Yep.
And I looked. So back when football was getting started in the 20s, average size was around 5'11" for a player and between 180 and 200 pounds. Okay, so that's just to give you guys an idea. So I played a little bit in college, and I was a defensive end. I was really light for a defensive end, but I was very strong and very fast. And I was 6'4", 255. These guys, when it started, the pros were 5'11", 180 to 200. Now, you fast forward, and by 2020, the average across all positions is 6'2", 244. Now that's including the little guys, but you look at your linemen, they're all over 300 pounds now. And, they're just ogres. 225 pound bench press rep record. Earlier years was, 10 to 20 reps was elite. Or I'm sorry, 20 to 30 reps was elite. By 2011, the record was 49 reps. Okay, so you're seeing, players in the 40, 50, right? You see the offensive linemen today are squatting 500 to 700, benching 400 to 500, and even skill players are able to potentially clean over 400 pounds. You see the strength just skyrocketing, right? You see the speed skyrocketing. You got in the 60s, a 4.5 40 was like never happened. Now we got defensive ends and defensive ends hitting that. They got 6'3", 248. Bruce Irvin, the defensive end, 4.5 40 in 2012. 6'3", 248. I was 4'7", 9. So I was a little bit heavier than him and a little bit taller, but I mean, that's what you're looking at back in those days, right? Look at the difference, right? These guys, it's insane. The changes, right? It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So the athletes are they're like monsters now. They're huge and they're powerful and they're fast and they've gotten so much bigger and tougher and better. But then we have this with the NFL. let's talk about recent rule changes. As these guys are getting bigger, stronger, and tougher, as they're becoming more and more impressive as specimens, you'd think the game would be more interesting because you got these giant monsters out there battling each other, warriors. But instead of, doing like UFC where you've got an actual warrior, we've got helmet to helmet contact bans, right? 15-yard penalty, fines, ejections. You bump someone and they're pain in the rear about it, right? You ever watch football? It's hard to watch anymore. Oh, yeah, helmet to helmet. Oh my God, he bumped his head. He could have brain damage. Now, UFC, you guys, I would cause brain damage, this guy. NFL, oh my God, he bumped his helmet. It's the end of the world. We're going to stop the game and eject the player for 10 seasons and fine him $48 trillion. I mean, what, really? The hell kind of, when I played football, you led with your face mask. You know why? Because if I put my face mask on your chest, you were going down. You were going to land 10 yards away. If I was in a dead sprint and I could get that quarterback and I could lay my face mask right into his chest, man, he was down. I wasn't trying to hurt him, but I was fine if he didn't want to throw the ball again. I mean, that's the sport. That's what we're doing. You want to ground and pound these guys. It was a real sport back then. Now, well, we got to worry about daylight savings time because our kids could get cranky. We don't want our kids to be cranky. It's terrible, right? We don't want that. Targeting rules, right? Targeting rules. We got that. Very important. Very important. If you launch into an opponent with the intent to strike the head or neck, right? Ejection, fines. Now, this is tough because it's with intent. If you've ever played the sport, how the hell do you know the intent? Listen, you are sprinting. And like I said, we talked about the warrior spirit and the look at, the fighter that you got to have if you're an NFL, if you're, UFC or boxing or whatever, you can't miss that opening. NFL, they try and kill that. They don't want warriors. You see that opening, you're supposed to stop and think, do not hit it. Don't take it. Don't go after that guy. You could give him a boo-boo. We don't want any boo-boos here. You know how much I pay for that quarterback? I don't want him to have a boo-boo. This one I really just... Okay, hold on, folks. I have to prepare myself. Roughing the passer. I was a defensive end. You know what happened if I didn't rough the passer? I wasn't doing my job. I mean, you can't even hit them. You can't hit them in the head, below the knees, or after the ball's released. You can't hit them this. You can't hit them that. You can't land on them with full body weight. You can't. The quarterbacks are pussies now. They're just wussies. You want to know why Tom Brady could play till he was 87? Because no one's allowed to hit him.
What, did you just say you can't lay on them with your full body weight? Did you just say that?
Tackle them. You're not supposed to land on them with your full body weight. You're supposed to grab them gently and kind of tip them over.
Do you rock them gently to sleep and give them a pillow?
Well, you got to cuddle them. And when you're done, once you're down on the ground, you're supposed to caress their helmet. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, I want you to think about this. Picture this. I launch off the line as a defensive end. I'm fighting through some tackle who weighs 330 pounds. I see the quarterback getting ready to release the ball. I do a swim. I get past him. I got about a quarter second to bridge the gap. And just before that quarterback releases, or just as I get around this guy, the quarterback, and just before I hit him, this quarterback releases. Now they say, if I'm already committed to the tackle, that maybe that's okay, but God forbid I'd fall on him with my body weight. What the hell is that? What in God's name is occurring there? Well, it's ridiculous.
It's the woke BS that we see everywhere. I mean, the NFL just sucks now. It just
It
sucks.
sucks on massive
Yeah.
levels. I just
Yeah.
want to watch a game.
Mhm.
I don't want to see people get hit. And I'm sorry if some wussy quarterback takes a hit and gets a boo-boo. That's just the way the game's supposed to be. And you can't even have a kickoff return now. You know, I mean, the kickoff returns are
Because
set.
those are so dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you might get boo-boos. They run
Yeah.
down the field, they could hit each other.
Mhm.
Unnecessary roughness, late hits, fighting, brawling rules, tackling technique rules, tackling techniques. You cannot use your helmet to tackle. How the hell do you? So when I go to tackle you, I gotta be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They ruined the game because these wussies run the place. It's awful. I mean, I can't even stand it anymore. It's just. Hey, folks, did you know that Elon Musk is sending robots to Mars? Robots. I mean, Crossfire Hurricane documents are coming out. And by the way, they show that, I mean, basically the FBI and the intel agencies were weaponized against Donald Trump. I mean, that doesn't matter. We're not going to charge anybody with that. I mean, no one's going to go to jail. The documents will be out there. They'll be redacted. But that doesn't matter. We as long as we protect quarterbacks from injury, that's what really matters here, folks. Can we protect quarterbacks from injury? I want to make sure that we protect quarterbacks from injury because they could get a boo-boo, and we don't want that. Daylight savings time is really important. That's a big deal. Okay. So, but Elon Musk, look at here. This is kind of cool. This is Mars. Isn't that neat? I like Mars. I think I'd like to see that. It'd be cool to go visit. I don't know if it's worth a 120 million mile trip, but or was it 12 million or 120? I don't know what it is. It's a long ways away. 140 million. There it is. 140 million. I don't know if it's worth that. I mean, I sometimes don't want to drive to like certain stores because they're too far away. But I like the idea of sending robots there. They can like do stuff and get it ready. Maybe they can build like an In-N-Out burger or something there. So then it might be interesting to go to Mars. Looks like there's like a lot of sand, dirt. I don't know. Anyways, it's important stuff, folks. It's very important. Plus, when the AI robots decide to take over the world, if they're taking over Mars,
Isn't Katy Perry gonna go to the moon or something too?
hopefully she stays there.
Yeah. Can we send the celebrities?
I love that. I don't know if she's going. That's great. There's some other things that are not important today. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard made an announcement that she's got evidence indicating that the electronic voting machines are vulnerable to hackers and exploitation.
No.
They could manipulate the election results. Now,
That's the first time I'm hearing of that.
I don't understand because clearly there were a lot of lawyers that lost their license in 2020 over 2020 election.
Tina Peters is rotting in a jail cell.
Yeah, well, but I mean, that doesn't matter. What matters is daylight savings time. We got to talk about daylight savings time. Tina Peters, I mean, she's a gold star mom, a hero, a wonderful woman who I absolutely adore. And it's sad that she's going through that. But
who brought evidence, who protected evidence, like what Tulsi just said, and she's still in jail.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, that's.
I'm sure Tina is happy that daylight savings time will go away because that's impacting her time in prison, I'm sure.
Yeah, if the Senate gets done with their important hearings on things like daylight savings time, they may get to have a hearing on that. They may get to look into that a little bit. But I mean, they're busy. They're busy. They're doing their job. They're fighting for the things that matter. There's a golf course that Senator Cruz said
that's going to lose money.
$500,000 for them.
I mean, it's one of the biggest. I mean, we talk about crimes against humanity with COVID, but the election fraud all tied into it. I mean,
that's part of the reason for
it. The steal of the elections and the mail-in ballots and everything was orchestrated for this massive corruption, this global reset that they wanted to do on us. And we were just part of this experiment. And it's so frustrating to live it the last 5 years. I ran campaigns where we had evidence of election issues and fraud. I helped with lawsuits that the judges just laughed in our face and threw them out, even though we had tons of evidence. And now it's all going to come to light. And people like Tulsi Gabbard's are going to sit up there and be like, yeah, see, it's really happening, when they've told us to sit down and shut up for 5 years. I was told that I couldn't do anything in the political realm by the GOP, mind you, if I talked about election fraud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's because that doesn't matter. If you would have talked about daylight savings time, you could have been like the leader of the GOP.
I might be president right now if I was talking about daylight savings time.
Well, you got to know what's important here.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump's envoy that he sent to meet with Russian officials, ceasefire talks. I mean, that's just preventing World War III.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Not a
really
big
care
deal.
about that.
No, I care about my 1 hour of sleep that I lose
Well, the kids could be
and then I
cranky.
gain.
Ted said that the kids could be cranky. I don't want that. I don't want the children to be.
That's an epidemic
Anything?
that needs to be fixed. Absolutely.
I actually will be glad if they fix
I will
it.
too. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it.
Actually,
It's
I hope
just
that they.
so
It's just I don't know why this should
aggravating.
take more than 5 minutes.
Why is there even a hearing?
There's no
Just
reason.
do
Just
it.
pick one and go.
And then why is it in the news? And then why did Ted Cruz feel like inspired to make a video and put it on his Twitter? Like, wow, look at me. I'm standing up for justice. Just
It's
do it and
all
move on.
the difference. We're making all the difference because we are dealing with daylight savings time, and that is what matters in this country right now. There's other things.
What we're talking about, even though we're being funny, obviously, with it, what we're talking about, though, is this gaslighting, this like smoke and mirrors thing that they do, this, the carrot that they dangle. It's like, don't look at the real problems. Look at this.
Well,
The way they drop the news, even the good guys, the way they filter information to us so that we actually forget about the important issues is
Yeah.
disgusting.
yeah, it's something today. It's
And everyone's given up hope on the Epstein list. I mean, I've been following that thread, and now people are just like, anyone who thought that was actually going to happen is an idiot. It's never going to happen. And that is very upsetting for our country.
yeah. And by the way, we
the
had
American people are very upset about that.
we got a comment from Who's a Good Boy said, try watching a rodeo. He's right. The
Yeah.
rodeos are still actually men's sports. I like that.
That's
Let's-
true. I love rodeos. I'm out here in Reno, and we have one of the best rodeos. And I worked actually for some rodeo guys. And no, he's absolutely accurate. Those are like the toughest men on the planet. And, and a lot of them don't have their pinky anymore because of the way they have to, when they're, ride.
Tie off.
Yeah, like all the good old guys like are missing their pinky because their pinky literally got ripped off in the sport. I mean, is there anything more tough and badass than that?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I had fun today. This was a fun show.
It's Friday.
I don't know if
Everyone should
anybody
have
likes
a
it.
wonderful weekend and be happy that their sleep cycle's not being disrupted this weekend.
I'm glad that we got to talk about important things and avoid.
too.
I mean, because these nonsensical issues that don't matter to anyone, like Epstein, mRNA, and poisons, and I'm glad that we got to focus on important issues today. So I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you. We will be